They're trying to tell us something. They have figured out the formula for chaos.
When the clock strikes 8:30, babe, time to head for Chris's house. Hey. Will the song make it to the next round?
Oh no.
Pot of Thunder. Let's pot tonight. Come on, baby, let's pot tonight.
Woo. Love it.
Hot, hot, hot. Hot, 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 hot.
The band is cooking. Thank you, Duck Gibbs and the Emerald Live Band.
Hotter than the temperatures around here lately.
It's sweltering
Broiling
outside.
hot.
So hot. Chris peed inside today.
Oh.
Yeah, my
Put his Crocs on.
My Crocs were melting on the back deck. I couldn't risk it. So
That's 9:30 p.m. as we're speaking.
All the letters were all jumbled up and falling off of his Crocs. The charms or whatever they call those.
Yeah.
Yep.
Still 85 right now and as humid as can be at 9:30. Oh, what a wild time to be alive. Welcome to the program. Welcome to Pot of Thunder, the recognized symbol of excellence in rock and roll podcasting. Still brought to you by Blue Microphones. They look great. They sound even better. And you know me.
Eddie America. Eddie America. Eddie America. Eddie America.
Wow.
Got a late entrant there.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Recent development.
Based on the AI-generated summary of our episode last week, where it called me Andy America,
Which, roll with it.
might be even better.
That's a great name. What do we talk about? We've talked about that frequently on the show. You just tack America onto something, and it's just people.
Yeah.
Certain people.
Freedom would be good also. Andy Freedom.
Freedom, Patriot. Just slap the flag on it. People, certain people flock to it.
Andy Eagle could be nice.
Yeah.
That could work.
Andy America can't be topped.
Yeah, that's a laugh out loud moment when I saw that.
Tip of the cap to the AI for that. That validates the technology on its own.
Got to be thankful for that. You know what else we have to be thankful for? It's that time if you're tuning in to the video portion on Patreon. Oh, yes. Polka dancing its way across the podcast studio. Nick Polak is into the program. Yes, good evening, young ladies, right, Nick?
And
Or young gentlemen, whoever it may be.
Cape.
You ripped your cape.
What?
Or the seam came out.
What have you done?
Oh, Jesus.
Why is there a seam? Isn't it just a piece? Or is it like it's folded in half? What kind of seam?
No, I
It's
had
two
to
pieces
get
stitched
my
together?
arms- to put my arms through.
Put your arms through this.
I was leaving it all on the stage.
I had no
there,
idea.
And had a wardrobe malfunction, as they say.
Do you have someone in your circle who can repair that?
I'm gonna have to work on it.
You take that to the cleaners, see if they can stitch that up for you.
Oh boy, what an episode so far.
Jeez, yeah.
Mass destruction.
Set me back.
Yeah. Last episode of Pot of Thunder Month going out with a bang.
Oh, yeah.
With no clothes on by the end of this.
Don't have it right now. Sorry. Anyway, to Nick's immediate left, you want him, we got him.
Can have it every day, yeah, yeah. I can have it. Get out of my way, yeah, fuck you.
Yes, put your hands together for the breakout star of the podcast medium, that is Chris L. He's in the house. What's going on
He's
over
in the
there?
house because it's too hot to be outside the house.
When it's all, and also to paraphrase Chuck Bronson, It's my house.
That's true.
What's the problem?
So it makes sense that I would be here.
It does. It makes perfect sense. And you're right. It is the last week of Pot of Thunder month. It is, isn't it?
It is.
What's the date? 28th or something?
28th, yes.
28th.
August 28th.
Okay. Well, last Monday, Pot of Thunder month.
The dog days of Pot of Thunder month.
Mm-hmm. And then very soon, what's coming? Next week.
Oh, man.
Next week, it's here.
Chris, I think, is the...
Is he the leadoff hitter?
He's in the pole position, I believe.
Oh, yeah, it's because of the Jericho maneuvering last week. It's your turn this week, right, Nick?
It is.
Then, yes, I start off September, and I could not be more excited. I have not that we handpick all this. In fact, most of the songs are picked actually at random. Most people know that by now. But if for some reason you're a new listener, that is how we do it. But we occasionally handpick for the theme months and other occasions. By far the most excited I've been about a song choice. I cannot wait. It's ever since it's popped into my head about a year ago, I've been clamoring for this day.
Out of all the choices, this is number one?
It's number one by a long shot.
Wow.
Over Marvin this past February?
It's way beyond that.
That's possible?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
And that was a good one. I felt great about that one, but this one is just, for some reason, it's just next level for me, and I hope most everybody agrees with it.
Wow.
Okay. Andy, do you have your...
I think so.
Yeah?
I've got one, and it's good. I had one that was over the top. I think I'm going to pull it back. It was just, I don't think it would even... You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it could be too far where it wouldn't be funny anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I feel like some sincerity in the delivery has to be there for it to work. And I don't know. I think it was lacking from one of my possible choices. But I have the other one. I think I'm going to go with that.
I think I'm sticking to mine.
Yeah.
Absolutely outrageous.
And it's been, what, almost a whole year since you chose yours?
No,
just
I'd say probably couple months.
Well,
and I was like, all right, I think I'm going to do this.
Sorry I asked. Made a fool of myself. I'll see myself out. I'm just kidding. Oh, man. Yes, here we are. A big week next week, but I think we've got a big week this week as well. I'm not telling you to just turn it off and wait for next week.
Oh, no.
By no means is that the case.
Well, we have, apparently some similar bluster surrounding the bake treat that Nick conveyed to us earlier.
That's what I was getting at. Nick's making bold declarations about this treat.
Well,
it's true.
He's conveying a bold declaration made by somebody else.
That's true. I think he sent me a separate one, too.
So you agree with that
multiple.
statement, Nick?
He's telling everyone. He's just sending random messages to people about this treat and how great it is. And not only does he think so.
I do think it's great.
Yep. Your wife thinks so.
My wife said it might be her new favorite. She normally will indulge. We'll have some left for the baked treats every week.
And she'll tell you the truth because she's told you, this is not a good idea.
This is the woman who bum rushed me about my alleged cargo pocket. She doesn't mince words.
Well,
she doesn't mess around.
I mean, she's
wrong in that case, but she doesn't mess around.
Nothing kind to say about that root beer float or root beer banana pie thing that I brought. No, nothing.
Good.
She was straight shooting about that.
Okay.
Good. Well, and the other thing is Nick instructed me to go get some forks for this and not of the plastic variety. He said the plastic forks might not work for this. So
you might snap a fork.
He did say that. It's not going to be enough. Not enough power on a plastic fork.
Well, without further ado, I think it's time for the theme music.
One more thing quickly. Nick sent me 6 simple words to describe this week's treat. The treat is off the chain. So, here we go.
Who wants to eat dainties? Who wants to eat baked treats with me? Oh, oh, oh.
Why are you handing it to me? Oh, this is mine?
Yeah, I've got mine over
You got
here.
yours over there. Okay,
Yeah, I've got mine.
give me that. I'll hand it. And I brought, after the directive on the forks, I made sure to bring some napkins or paper towels here.
That's wise. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's see what we have here. Remove the foil.
Which, are we doing our sound, whatever that is,
Holy cow.
sound effect
ASMR,
videos,
yeah.
ASR or whatever?
It smells good. Look at it.
Jesus,
oh my gosh.
H, you know who.
Look at this thing.
Looks like
I
almost...
think part of Chris's toppled over.
It did.
The
Ah!
top layer fell over.
Sorry, my crust just came apart. It almost landed on my...
almost looks like
Computer.
a piece of pizza or lasagna.
I was
Got
It
that
does.
look to it.
I was asked by a listener that we should take pictures of it every week. to
I was
post.
doing that for a while, but
I think my foot was usually in it, and people
And
were,
then our Instagram dwindled to 0.
so
actually it blew up to like 80,000.
Yeah, all of our listeners left and all the feet people showed up. Where's the dessert? The foot dessert of the week. That's what people want to see. So, I'm sorry, did you say what it was?
I didn't.
Okay. It smells peanut buttery.
There's peanut butter. It's a peanut butter and jelly pie.
Look at you.
Good Christ.
So the jelly, I didn't put gelatin in it. I don't like really gelatinous stuff. So it's just it's pureed strawberries with sugar and cornstarch, and you heat it up and let it cool. It gets a little bit thick. And,
So you didn't just want to go with regular jelly?
No.
Nick says phooey to jelly.
I mean, jelly's fine, but I'm not huge into the gelatinous stuff.
Okay.
It's not really that gelatinous, in my opinion, but
Well,
it is
sometimes you get some that's like jello-y, which I'm not into.
what, like the Ken's brand jelly?
Is that
No,
is that a bad brand?
No,
I
I'm
don't even know.
kidding, but
That's
Nick,
usually-
Nick made a point of of pointing out at Steve's little get together. There's some Ken's ranch dressing. It just cracked me up.
Oh, and the
for whatever reason.
Facebook picture.
That brand just cracks
It's
me
a
up.
less expensive option.
That's what I was getting at. If you go for a subpar jelly, you're gonna get subpar results. But you went with a strawberry puree, which is pretty highfalutin.
Yeah.
And there's the reason I asked for the metal fork is because I melted a layer of my favorite thing to eat and put it spread it across.
Oh, wait.
the crust.
Sweetened condensed milk?
All right. Well, it's tied neck and neck.
Okay.
What your preferred peanut butter?
It's the Reese's peanut butter chips.
Oh, okay.
Melted them down and put it hardened up a little bit. So I was like, I might need a metal fork because you got to get through that.
All right, I'm going in.
Okay.
And I wanted to credit Joe Patterson for the idea because he was talking about a peanut butter and jelly cookie he'd gotten recently.
Really?
And I was like, oh, let me look around here.
Well, I think Chris and I will also thank Joe, but we'll see. Chris has had his first bite. I'm saving mine.
Yeah, pretty damn good.
Oh, good. I'm happy to hear it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Basically,
I had a
you're
piece.
just like eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with a fork.
I can get on board with
Which
that.
I never have been into.
No, me neither. I'm
Was
more
it-
of a peanut butter and fluff man myself.
I'm more of just peanut butter. Honey, I
Honey.
guess would be my other thing if I was going to put something on the peanut butter.
That's nice.
Makes the bread hard, though. You got to be careful with the honey.
You have to eat it like immediately.
Well, I think if you peanut butter both pieces of bread,
And then put the honey in the middle.
then you'll be okay.
Okay.
If you don't, the honey will seep through
Look at
and
this.
harden up the bread.
Does anybody eat just a jelly sandwich? Is that done?
I've never heard of it. As
Yeah.
odd as that
It's
sounds.
probably
I
happened.
mean,
Well,
I
you know
hear
what?
of people eating peanut butter on their own, which I would be good with.
Okay.
I'm fine with the combo, but never heard of jelly by itself.
You know what's
in a
odd, though?
sandwich.
We've made this rule as human beings, as a society, that you can have jelly on an open face piece of toast, but if you put another piece of toast
yeah,
on
that's
top
just
of it,
weird.
Get out.
What's up with that?
Taboo. You've entered into the land of
Yeah,
taboo.
lock this individual up.
it makes no sense. But
They
it
have
is
to go on a registry if they do that.
Yep, it's a rule. Okay, well, this has got some heft to
that's
it.
good, man.
That's going to keep
Yeah,
me.
it is off the chain.
That's going to keep me on my trek to being the Indiana beef daddy as I approach 200 pounds.
Get beefy.
I think I'm going to say mid-September I'm going to hit it. Getting there. About 5.6 pounds to go, and I've hit 200.
Oh, you can do it.
I think I can do it.
This will help.
Yeah.
It won't hurt, put it that way.
Yeah, it'll get me close.
Very rich. Very good stuff. Compliments to the chef.
Yes.
Thank you.
For once, your wife is right. Put it that way.
There you go. Okay, so
am I heading over?
yeah, you're heading over. It's your turn
All right.
to pick off the listener submission
Better be
list.
good.
Trying not to sneeze right now, so that's why I'm making this weird face. I think in 525 episodes, that's the first time I've had to fight off a sneeze for some reason. But it's that time. I will pull the lever. Why? There you go. We have number 137. 137. Again, that's 137. No, that's out.
No, it's something I'm somewhat familiar with,
Yeah.
but I don't really feel like it.
Don't want it.
Don't want it.
Okay.
Bushwick it.
Well.
No.
Move along to the next trick.
Once more. Interesting. Out of all the choices, I believe we're up to 957 options here on our list. It pulled
I think you need to do another random
because we're in the same.
Because we're in the same.
It gave
we're
us
almost just about exactly the same territory.
It gave us the same artist, so we're not even going to count that one.
Well, Andy 316.
Andy 316 says this. Yeah, so the next one is 316. Nick's thinking. This is also here.
Oh gosh.
This is just a couple numbers above. We could cheat and go with that just in
Could
case.
do that. Oh boy. No.
Straight up Bushwick.
Straight up Bushwick.
Wow.
Damn.
Move along to the next trick.
You gonna have your pie? What's going on?
I like to wait.
He's in the middle of something.
Else-
Nick.
Have your pie.
Did you do something to it? What's wrong?
I made it. It would goo.
Okay. All right, one more pull.
You guys ever think of it would goo randomly? 'Cause
No, I haven't thought
it
about
comes
that
to
in
my
a
head
while.
sometimes. It would goo.
Sorry. Oh,
Yeah.
where were we at? This one here. Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
the number?
921.
Yeah, it's submitted by 3 different people?
Yeah, 3 in a row.
Yeah,
Do it.
I say so.
Okay. Got lucky on your last one. Because the other 2 were straight up Bushwicks, not even kept in the back pocket for potential.
And probably if people knew the first artist, there'd be some protest that I should have went with it, but
They'd be mad at you.
I don't know.
Well,
Hold on. Keep talking.
I can
I'll
keep-
do some
What did we land on? 910?
921.
921. It's also 920 and 922, as we mentioned, submitted 3 times by
yes.
our friends here. Yeah, so this would be exciting. Oh, you know what? Here's a fun teaser for no one just to talk about right now. Potentially could be performed live within 40 miles of where we are right now. Right now.
Really?
Potentially.
Okay.
Interesting.
I think I'm right on that date. I might be wrong.
I'm not sure
I
what.
may be a fool.
I'm not sure what shows are going on. I know what you mean, but I can't confirm it.
I may be a horse's ass, but we'll see. Yeah, it's exciting. Anyway, Nick straight up Bushwicked something. What would that be? 70s, that first one?
No.
No?
No.
I'm thinking of something else.
That's more. That's a current.
Yes.
artist, yeah.
I was thinking of a name that's similar. I got confused for a second. Yes, this is a current artist that people love. I was thinking of
that someone really loves.
apparently. My God.
Okay, so give me the hit it real quick.
Time for Pope stuff. Yeah, that Pope stuff. Here's some Pope stuff. Time for Pope stuff.
Okay, there's some cross signals here, but whatever. We haven't done this segment in a couple weeks, I don't think. People love it. They've missed it, so here it is.
Yeah.
So it's less about an event, but it's more questions for Nick. Maybe he knows what this stuff is, but Nick, any guesses as who's the Pope was in 921?
I'm going to guess it was one of the Leos.
That would be incorrect. Although this is where it gets kind of mixed up here. It says that this individual died on 28 February 920, but it credits him with being the Pope through 921, which makes no sense, but we'll get into it. It would be Pope Gabriel I of Alexandria.
I wonder how many Gabriels there are. It's not a common Pope name, I don't think.
And then here's the twist that hopefully you can shed some light on, otherwise we'll just research it here on Wikipedia. Pope Gabriel I of Alexandria was the Coptic Pope of Alexandria and Patriarch of the See of St. Mark. What is a Coptic Pope?
I know there are Coptic Christians. I don't want to get it wrong, but it's like an Orthodox church. I think that's
It is Orthodox.
something along those lines.
Yes.
Yeah, that's about really all that I could say for sure.
You got Coptic popes, you got anti-popes. Who can keep all this stuff straight? You know? Seems to be simpler if just everybody was a pope, but what do I know? Anyway, that's it. Just wanted to have this segment because we've been missing it for a couple weeks. So
Pope Gabriel has entered the arena. Well, and left it, unfortunately.
You didn't make it, huh?
He didn't make it to the year 921, apparently, but then again, maybe he did. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, it's exciting. An exciting time. I think Nick is pumped up about this one.
Yeah.
3 people submitted it, huh?
Yeah.
I know. I'm pretty sure Chris will be pumped up. Andy, I'm not sure.
We'll see.
We'll find out.
We're going to find out very quickly. Is there anything else you want to say before we cue Chris Jericho to introduce the song?
Not really. Just it's a song I'm guessing just about everybody's familiar with.
Okay. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
All right, Harold. This one's called
Slither
Off of
Contraband.
by the band.
Velvet Revolver.
This is good. I've been waiting for a VR song. This is great.
Is 04.
Yeah. Geez, 20 years ago almost.
I know.
That's crazy because
Insanity.
that seemed like, so long after Guns N' Roses, but it's like a halfway point now.
And it was, you had Audio Slave happening. I'm trying to think of other sort of, I guess you'd call them a super group.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially it's just a group with a different singer, but calling themselves a different name.
So who was in Velvet Revolver? Catch me up, Nick. Get me up to date with you, or whatever that phrase is.
Bring me up to date on you.
Yes, that's it.
Well, you had everybody's favorite, Matt Sorum, who really was intolerable in that documentary about them selecting a singer.
Well, I never saw. Was he really?
It's on YouTube. It's
Who were the other possibilities?
they were looking at people. I don't.
Or did they
recall.
not really make it public that like this
No,
person auditioned and we said no?
I think there were people who were not as well known as who they obviously ended up going with. Mm-hmm. It's been a little while since I've seen it, but it's on YouTube. There's a documentary. It's actually pretty interesting. But there's a part where Duff McKagan gets in Sorum's face and is calling him out on stuff.
Like what?
I guess
Being too much of a jerk or something.
I guess just kind of complaining a lot and.
Oh, okay, all right.
I don't recall, but I do remember Duff kind of confronting him. And Slash, of course. Scott Weiland on lead vocals, and
Dave Kushner was the second
Yeah.
guitarist. I'm not sure where he came from.
I was going to say, what was he doing before?
That I'm not sure of. But
in the Gilby Clarke position, if you will.
exactly. I wouldn't say, it was about to say Izzy's position, but that involves songwriting, so that wouldn't be accurate. But the current one would be Richard Fortus, and as Andy alluded to, they're playing tonight and probably another date at Wrigley Field.
No, there's no time for them to be there tomorrow. The Jonas Brothers are there tomorrow.
Really?
That's right.
So just one night at Wrigley.
And out you go.
And,
All right.
and if I'm not mistaken, GNR does play this song, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why
which
they do.
is one of the coolest things that a band has done in recent memory.
Yeah, you could picture a band being like, well,
That's
we don't
like-
do that.
Well, especially Axl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not his song, and he's not known for being a very tolerant guy, but
and had his issues with the guys in this band at that time.
yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, one of the coolest. Whatever Axl's done and whatever in the past, it's a super cool move to do this song as Guns N' Roses right now. I mean, it's like, could you imagine? What would be comparable to that? I mean, I'm thinking like a Van Halen situation, like David Lee Roth doing
It's on that level.
Yeah.
doing, I don't know, Summer Nights or something.
It's on that level.
Yeah.
Rage Against the Machine doing Audio Slave.
Which I guess
Would be like
wouldn't
the same.
happen because I don't think the vocal style is at all similar. But yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, Matt Sorum is not with Guns N' Roses, right?
Correct.
In the current incarnation,
not.
he was never in again, right? After whatever that was, 92 or something.
That would be correct, I
Okay.
believe. He was not on the Chinese Democracy
Yeah, he's-
album or lineup, no.
Not a part of the Axl Guns N' Roses after the breakup.
Do not think so, no.
And not part of it now, right? They've
Correct.
got- who's up there?
What's his... Frank Ferrer, I believe, is the drummer's name. Damn good drummer. I saw them a few... already probably 7 years ago already at Soldier Field here in Chicago. So,
Really?
yeah. They've been doing that comeback tour thing for years. I mean, they're still filling these venues, so why not? But damn, they've been at it for a while already.
Who else is in the band? We got
Duff McKagan.
Duff / Axl, and then whoever else they
Weiland.
need to roll. Or I'm sorry, in the current Guns N' Roses. It's Duff / Axl, and then whoever else
Richard
they need
Fortus, Frank Ferrer. They've got a female keyboard player. Dizzy Reed is still in the band, also playing keyboards, and I think that's it.
If you have a female keyboard player, you have to play Moni Moni. I don't know if they're doing that. But
Well, they are associated with Billy Idol through the Camp Freddy and whatnot, so he might appear on stage to molest said wearing a E.T. cinnamon roll mask to conceal his identity, possibly.
Can't wait for that episode.
You have to post that in case people don't know what we're talking
Well,
about.
maybe
It's a
better
favorite.
that they don't know what we're talking about.
It's a favorite among us.
What Velvet Revolver was coming out of the gate with was pretty interesting because they were on the Incredible Hulk soundtrack, I believe. Right? That was
Set Me Free, right?
Set Me Free
Yeah.
was on there.
That was their first song?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I
then
want to say that was her first single, yeah.
And then Slither would have been the first album single, I'm pretty sure. And I remember hearing these recordings when it came out. I didn't own it, but I heard it somewhere. There was a Slither with 2 live songs on it. Bodies by the Sex Pistols and Negative Creep by Nirvana. So they were coming out with like
Interesting choices.
yeah, pretty intense, up-tempo. Well, Bodies isn't that up-tempo, not as much as Negative Creep, but still.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, some pretty heavy, ruthless sort of material.
Yeah. Did you have that, the single?
No, I didn't have the
You just
single, but I
remember-
remember hearing those because it was a curiosity. Like, oh, okay, they're doing those songs. Okay,
Yeah. I didn't know that.
yeah,
Never heard those. So what did they have, 2 albums? Is that
Correct.
correct?
Yeah.
So this is the first single from the first album.
yeah.
Well, yeah, first single.
Pretty sure.
I mean, "Set Me Free" was on the soundtrack, and I think it came out before the album. Is that true?
I'm
or-
pretty sure
Was that the Ed Norton Incredible Hulk?
it might have been even the one before it.
Eric Bana?
Maybe.
They did 3 Incredible Hulks with different guys until one stuck. Or no, 4. No, 3. Sorry, 3. Third is, what's that dude's name? Mark Ruffalo. He stuck with the Avengers for some reason. Whatever.
It's all lost on me, and I'm pretty proud of that fact.
I
Blissfully unaware of that horse shit.
I've missed out on much of that in past years.
And you want to know why? Because I'm a grown-ass man. I'm not a fucking kid anymore. Get out of the fucking superhero shit. And if your kids want to go, drop them off at the theater, pick them up afterwards. Don't sit there in the theater with them. Grow up.
You never watched any of those?
Hell no.
Not even the first one? What about like...
Avengers?
No, I just mean like any superhero movies.
I mean, I've seen a Batman or
Okay,
two,
I
but
was
then
gonna
when
say-
they come out with the 5th guy playing the same character in the same story, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm getting rooked here. Forget it.
I was gonna
I'm not
say-
getting any more of my money.
You had to at least have seen Michael Keaton Batman.
I
at
saw
some
that
point.
one, and I saw the Christian Bale one. The Clooney and anybody else, Affleck or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed to say I even know who played
Yeah.
the Batman.
Robert Pattinson now.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
That's the Twilight guy.
This Ruffalo guy, I don't know who he is.
There's some interesting stuff about the band's formation, actually.
Oh.
Believe it, there was in 2002 there was a tribute show for Randy Castillo, and Slash, Duff, and Sorum got together to play for it. Then after that, they wanted to get a band going, and they got Kushner, and Dave Navarro apparently was involved early on.
He was he was not well at that time, I don't think. That's probably why he didn't stick around.
He's not well now.
Well, different types of
yeah.
not
Or-
well.
right, I get right, correct, but yeah.
Several lead singers auditioned, Josh Todd being one of them.
Oh, he could have done it,
He
but
could-
obviously
it
the
could have
star
worked.
power of Weiland
Yeah.
surpasses Josh Todd, but he could have done it.
And then, after Weiland came in, Weiland suggested Dead Velvet Revolver for the band name, and it was shortened. Set Me Free was on the Hulk soundtrack, and for the Italian Job, I remember going to see that in the theater.
Oh yeah, with all the Mini Coopers zipping around.
Yeah, they did a version of Money by Pink Floyd, which I don't think I've ever heard.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that.
That was an early misstep.
Yeah, I won't be seeking that out.
No, I doubt it.
Oh, and on the second album, they did a fucking ELO cover. They actually released it, so that certainly didn't sit well with me. But aside from those things, I'm a big fan. And there were so many detractors because it was like semi-early internet where like message boards and stuff were becoming popular. I saw so much shit being slung at this band, and I just never got it. Both albums are great. The first album, definitely a GNR vibe. Second album, an STP vibe. Well, how much of that was intentional, I don't know, but both albums, in my opinion, are outstanding. So I never understood the shit talking, although I do understand it. People just can't get past what they're used to and the brand and the characters involved. And as much as they say they want to hear new music from certain people or see them do different things, they don't.
They don't.
They want the familiar. They want the Big Mac of music. They don't want to venture out and accept anything new. And it's not like this music was that much of a departure.
Right.
Like I said, the two albums had vibes of the two prominent bands that these guys came from, and the material is excellent.
Well, if you put on the first album and hear Sucker Train Blues and have a problem with it,
thank you.
Then
it's one of the great openers.
You're not coming from at all where I would be coming from.
No, one of the that's one of the great album openers of all time.
I would
agree. That's just a blistering track, and then it just it stays on a high level through the whole thing.
And so this is track 11. Kind of interesting spot for
it is.
Opening or debut single off the album. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that far back. On
the hell are they doing?
But that was again, you were getting to the point where, digital downloads and stuff, people less. I mean, the cohesion of an album started to mean less to people, and listing the shit on shuffle and whatnot. So
maybe it doesn't make a difference.
Who knows? But yeah, I'm stoked. Who submitted it, and what did they have to say?
Oh,
that's a great question.
Three different folks.
Mm-hmm. Terrence A. Grasser. He says, "We all know how badass this track is. It's time for it to get pulled." All right. Yep. That sounds right.
About says it. Yeah.
Mark Givitz. He says it's time to take it. No, he didn't say that. He says
I can have it.
Sorry, Mark. He says we all know how. Wait, no, that's not the right one. He says
he said the same thing.
Oh, so the song is so good that Guns N' Roses plays it live.
Yeah.
There you go. And then Chris Camarado. What up, Chris? He's here today. He says, to this day, it's still my favorite bass line to play. It's a damn shame they only managed to put out 2 albums.
Agree with that, but...
So was the second album like 2006, 7 or something?
Yeah, Libertad.
And then that was it, huh? They broke up.
Well, and then, and Weiland went back to SCP and then he kicked it, so...
Yeah. Okay. Well... You guys ready to get into this?
This is a great pull. Nice job. Peanut Butter and Jelly Pie and Velvet Revolver. Boy, Nick is flying in the clouds tonight. Mm-hmm. He's risen from the ashes of tearing his polka dancing cape at the beginning of the episode.
That could have been devastating.
I think that fits with everything. There's a
volatility to it.
There is to Velvet Revolver. There's a legit animalistic sort of a vibe going on.
Well,
even though these guys were huge rock stars for years.
Plus, coming into it wasn't like certainly Duff and Sorum were all like they were way into physical fitness. I mean, these guys. You look at those videos; they're physically in incredible shape.
They're lean as hell.
Slash not so much on the fitness thing, but weren't all of them sober coming into it and they all relapsed or something?
I think so.
Those ages?
Yeah.
Just the volatility of that, the chemistry of those personalities, which just led them back down those roads.
Yeah.
But that's all. Look, nobody wants anybody to succumb to addiction, but that kind of volatility contributes in a positive way to the musical output. That's just been a true statement throughout the annals of rock.
Mm-hmm. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick word. We'll be right back with Slither. Portions of America's Little Brother are brought to you by Waterloo Sparkling Water, naturally flavored with other natural flavors.
I didn't know you made a deal.
Grape's my favorite.
I can't believe you're making deals still.
$50 in my account. All right.
I've wondered when I've heard this song if the working title was Slither, and that's kind of what they were going for here, because it has that. Mm-hmm. Everything going on here is basically a snake slithering up to you. Or was it one of those situations where they had the music and was like, yeah, it's like a snake. it's just it's something that fascinates me when there's like a song that I really like, and there's something maybe a little like and a little cryptic about it, which Weiland did that in every song he ever did. Basically, there's always something cryptic there. So I would, but I enjoy that. I enjoy when there's Chris used the word cohesion about something else, but I think that fits here. That you've got the song's called Slither, and it really, really has that sort of a lurking, slithering kind of foreboding opening like this.
Well, and the other thing is like Axl's signature move back in the day was known as the snake dance.
That's
with
true.
his move. I wonder if there was any conscious reference to that.
And you had Slash's snake pit.
Yep, a lot of snake references throughout. They probably drank a lot of Diet Mountain Dew at some point. Snake juice.
That's what kept them sober for a number of years.
But it's aptly named. I'm not sure, but I don't think the word appears in the lyrics anywhere. So,
and I love the bass sound that. I don't know what you call it, but it's very full, but it's got that punchiness to it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's always
it's not smooth.
He's always had that. That's like a signature element of his sound. Dare I say Mike Dirnt-esque.
Well,
but he plays plays with a pick. He came into the band as a guitar player, so he's not like your typical coming at it from a bass player's mindset, but yeah, he's always had that sort of aggressive, like you said, full sound, but it's got that clang on the top of it that cuts through. And then Sorum's snare drum tuned up nice and high as I like it, and the other stuff is like I like how Slash is just kind of doing that textural stuff at the beginning here, like the pick slides with a lot of delay on it. It's just the whole vibe of it is really great.
I mean, that's right there when you hear it. If you didn't know who this was, once it breaks into that, it's like, oh, this has got to be related to Guns N' Roses in some way, right?
You know what's interesting that you say that? When the first time I heard this and listening to it again now, I think it sounds like Stone Temple Pilots. I don't know why.
It's got like something off a core, kind of like a Dead and Bloated almost kind of a thing going on, but. Yeah, I guess that is interesting that they do sort of seem to overlap.
They do, and it's none of the players from Stone Temple Pilots, but for some reason it is a perfect meld to me.
Yeah,
yeah. I think the sonic quality of the band is definitely in the Use Your Illusion arena in terms of the guitar tones and the overall production, but the riff itself is definitely early STP, and so that's mainly what I was sort of referencing when I say the GNR vibe of this first album is just from a production standpoint, sonically, it's definitely in that Use Your Illusion wheelhouse, but yeah, you're totally right. It's a very kind of STP-ish riff with that sort of like sinewy quality that Slash brings to the table, just as that loose style of playing, Stonesy kind of vibe. It's all in there.
See some type of pleasure in my mind.
Oh, that's sorry. Something came up on my phone. I'm usually not like a huge fan of when you've got the big chords during the chorus, and you've got like this kind of like, I know Kiss does this a lot, in later in their career. You'd have that some sort of riff going on along with it. A lot of times it'll be like a higher register kind of a thing, like Into the Void or Psycho Circus or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's really cool though how they took the main riff and they're kind of dropping it down with the chord changes. They're not just he's not just playing the same riff over and over. He's kind of moving it around. Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty cool, and it's Andy likes to say big chorus.
It was big.
It really is big. Yeah, I mean it's Weiland, and that's the type of melody that he'll bring to a chorus like that.
And then they had those like backing vocals sort of swirl in toward the end of the verse, and that's a very sort of STP quality to my ears. Yeah, I don't anticipate really stopping the song very often because I just like to listen to it. And like I said, I just keep going back to how much shit was talked about this band, and occasionally I still see it, and I just say, how do you listen to this and not get stoked about it?
What were some of the criticisms that you saw?
The typical, it's not as good as STP, it's not as good as Guns N' Roses, and these guys have no chemistry. Well, but you guess what? It actually is.
Yeah.
if you listen to it with an open mind.
I know. But
it's just these people who fancy themselves as these edgy rockers and just want to keep pushing the genre forward. They just can't get past what is ingrained in their brains from their first discovery. It's the same reason why people just outwardly dismiss like Sonic Boom and Monster, and that goes back to, and then these same assholes are like, well, Kiss hasn't come out with any new music in how many years? It's like, why should they? Because pricks like you are going to rip it apart on the internet when in fact it's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
If you could just open your mind to it and not be stuck in the past. I mean, I don't get how you listen to this and not think it's great.
Yeah.
And I was trying to think, and I did figure it out. A very similar riff, if you want to go to an STP song, to that main riff, is Heaven and Hot Rods off of number 4.
Okay.
It's very close to the same sort of vibe.
Number 4 is the one with Days of the Week, right?
No,
No?
that's Shangri-La-Di-Da.
Oh, that's Shangri-La-Di-Da.
That's the
okay.
one with Down.
That's
and
one with
Sour
the
Girl
with the star on it, the white star on the black disc.
perfume kind of a
Yes.
thing.
Okay. All right. Never mind. I got it now. Okay.
Sounds like a car peeling out when he interjects.
The squeal.
Yeah, it's got that sort of a it's that mental connotation for me, like someone getting white smoked or something.
Could
Yeah.
be.
And just interjecting that is a very, again, Weiland
Very
thing.
much.
Didn't he, like, would he, on stage, would he have the bullhorn out for that?
I don't know if he did for this song, but yeah, it would make perfect sense.
Yeah.
That was sort of his trademark, I guess.
He was big on the bullhorn, huh?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Oh man, now this is trying to go back, and I'll probably get this a little bit wrong, but his ashes. I remember seeing a photo of like what they're set in and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I want to say there's some sort of a bullhorn thing along, like a visual,
Like part of
like maybe
memorial
there's
or something.
like in whatever sort of how the ashes are on some sort of container, and there's it's like a display thing, and I want to say there's like a bullhorn maybe that's on it.
Yeah.
Somehow,
what a bummer.
Yeah, it really is, and it's crazy to think it's been that long. It was like 2015.
I was going to say, when was that?
He's been gone like 8 years almost.
Jeez.
And I'm pretty sure we've talked about it on the show before, or mentioned it in passing or whatever, but the last great rock star, it's hard to dispute that. I mean, who's come along since then who has that old school yet new school rock star frontman vibe in the classic tradition, but still pushing music forward? I can't name anybody. Not that I'm super up to date on stuff, but
well, and his evolution to that, it's pretty interesting to go back and watch, because he had wearing the gas station attendant shirt with the purple hair,
and he was kind of fat too when he came out.
Yeah, a little bit.
He was a little thicker when they started, right?
Kind of like Andy's current incarnation.
Yeah. I'm doing the backwards violent.
Yeah, he is. They're morphing into in opposite directions. But yeah, when he first came out, he was just I'm trying to think of who he reminded me of. He almost looked like the fucking Smash Mouth guy, to be honest with you.
A little bit, yeah.
I guess a little.
And then he became David fucking Bowie overnight,
Well,
which is a much better look and vibe.
And then when once it was like the Tiny Music era, he had just like this perfect look for that time.
Oh,
Looked great. And then he got into the whole like Halford-esque kind of thing, where he was always wearing the biker hat,
police.
Oh yeah,
style
that's
hat.
right.
He would have the I guess, I don't know what material, but the long gloves, like a shiny,
leather.
shiny
Leather.
black sort of like vinyl looking sort of thing. Yeah, he had the mohawk for a while. He was all over the place. It's too bad though that what fueled it, or one of the things that fueled it, was destructive. But
yeah, it goes back to that. It's like, this addiction and drug use costs people their lives, but it makes for some incredible art. It really does.
And it's almost awkward to praise it, because it's like, are we saying, I might get a little deep here, but are we saying as a culture, as a fans of whatever we're fans of, that we want that version of somebody? The version that's in a lot of pain and just not healthy.
One of the guys who a lot of people say that about is Eric Clapton. Like, people prefer the heroin Clapton because he was putting out much better stuff, which I personally don't agree with that, because during the 70s is when he was really whacked out on drugs and stuff. And call me crazy, but I Miami Vice Clapton of the 80s is my favorite incarnation.
It's in the way that you use it and all that.
Forever Man and Bad Love. I love that shit, man. And in the 70s, he was doing all the, kind of folksy stuff for a while, and then he did the slow hand. So I don't necessarily agree with that, but you hear that a lot. It's like, I wish Clapton would get back on drugs. He was better then. And
that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's a kind of a silly thing to say, and actually kind of mean-spirited, because like I said, this shit costs people their lives,
Right.
But you can't deny the danger and the volatility contributes to the end product in a good way.
Well, in the MTV Unplugged thing, I'm pretty sure he was clean for that. That was, I would say, his biggest era.
Yeah, no, he definitely.
I mean, he
reinvented himself several times, and
because that Unplugged album won every award that year, and just massive.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was definitely clean by then. But I'm just saying that you hear that a lot about him in particular. But you talk about it in general, and it's just like, I don't know. You just can't deny what that contributes to the end product. If you're looking for dangerous rock and roll and music that sounds like that, you got to have that ingredient.
Yeah, and there you go. There's the ongoing endless fascination with rock and roll.
Yeah, right.
That's what it is right there. It's story as old as the music itself, pretty much. Tragedy is definitely an ingredient.
It sure is.
Usually I'm a big fan of when you've got a song that's a little slower and then they double time it, maybe for the chorus or the bridge or like the outro. This song works really well going halftime.
And the opposite.
Once you get to the chorus, there's a sort of there's a definite release, a feeling of release in it actually going half speed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. Then they ratchet it back up again into the solo, which we'll hear shortly. But yeah, it's an interesting point. I never really thought about it. Similar to the Don't Stop Believin' arrangement, where you don't really think about it. And then when you're paying attention, it's like, oh yeah, they don't even do the chorus till the end. It's like here they like perfectly stated. They just go for that release, and then it's down tempo all of a sudden, and you just don't, unless you're really paying attention to it, you don't notice it. It's just that's how the song flows.
How do you compose that?
Well, you don't. You play that because you're a singular talent, and he's an American treasure / an incredible player. Top flight rock and roll guitar player. Masterful use of the wah pedal, obviously. But just the way he phrases notes together and strings them together, and just the fluidity of his playing is just so individual and so unique. He's as good as it gets, in my opinion. And when we had Kearns on that one time, and when that weirdo in Davenport, Iowa, actually compared me to Slash, some guy I'd never even seen before, came up to me after our set and said, my playing reminded me of Slash. That's hands down the best compliment I've ever received for my guitar playing. So it doesn't get any better for me. He's top shelf all the way.
And there's the time that Slash came to prominence, there was another guitar player who also plays Les Pauls, and they don't exactly, obviously have the same sort of style, but there are similarities, and I would say that's Zakk Wylde. I would say some of the sort of patterns that they play, and some of the sound too, like some of the effects, like some wah, like tube screamers, things like that. I think. It's super aggressiveness to the playing.
Yeah, Zakk Wylde's another one who takes some shit that he doesn't deserve. I think a lot of it has to do with he's becoming like that guy, like just his muscle memory or whatever you want to attribute to, but he just like can't not do the pinch harmonics and stuff. And he takes a lot of heat for that, but. In terms of he's another one who's just top shelf rock and roll guitar player. But if I'm going to nerd out guitar-wise, Zakk is pretty much entirely pentatonic scale based. Slash throws in those passing notes, and that's what I was getting at before. The phrasing and the note choices and the fluidity of it is just so unique. There's just nobody else like him. But in terms of like peeling off those fast runs, those wah-drenched runs, they're definitely, kind of neck and neck there, and I enjoy listening to both of them, obviously. But I don't know, Slash has got a little extra Christmas in his playing that I appreciate.
It'll sound like a person screaming at first when that came on.
With the guitar
when that lead kicked in.
came in, yeah.
And speaking of screaming, though, the vocal delivery at this point, Weiland had very much settled into like his natural voice. Mm-hmm. Like he only did the core voice. It was kind of like a Steven Tyler thing, where the first album and I guess into the second album, he's putting on a different voice.
Steven Tyler's kind of Freddie Mercury-ish.
Yeah, kind of. And then after that, he's Steven Tyler.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was younger and I heard Dream On, I thought, did they have a different singer? Is this like a Bon Scott kind of situation where they had someone else? But yeah, at this point, Weiland was not putting on like the core voice. I don't know exactly how you describe that, but there's a certain, it's just a voice that I think he was. A lot of people do that. Like you'll have your like the natural voice, but then you'll have a singer they put on a voice. They I don't know if it's to like portray a certain type of persona or something like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and you can tell most of the time when someone's doing that. But yeah, at this point, it's very much like. This is his voice, and he's not trying to dress it up unnecessarily anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is him.
Yeah,
yeah, and also like, so this obviously came out after STP had 5 albums under their belt at this time.
Yeah,
like yeah. So like you were saying, you have the core voice, but then when you get into Tiny Music and little transitional and Purple, but into Tiny, especially Tiny Music, he definitely his vocal tone definitely became more nasally and like less full bodied, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And here he's going back to the way he was when we first heard him, and then after the solo, when he picks up the intensity of the vocal delivery, just brilliant.
It's very number 4 in my opinion, where it's number 4 up to that point was like if they had songs left over from the 3 previous albums, then you could go through number 4, listen to each song and say, okay, that's down, okay, that's a core song.
Yeah.
And then you could go down the line and be like, okay, that would belong on Purple, that would go on Tiny Music.
Well, there you go. They probably did that. I mean, that's like the Van Halen formula. Just throughout their career, throughout the Roth era, I mean, I think every album contained a song or two that they had been playing, in the backyard parties version of the band before they got signed. And it's like, if it's good material and you can resurrect it and the timing is right to turn into to put it out and make it good, why not?
And you have to have an album every year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just bring it back in this writing sessions. Let the producer have a go at it, see what they can do with it. But it's like, why would you just be? That's another bullshit thing that people criticize Van Halen about or a different kind of Truth album is like, it's all old songs and rehashed demos from the early days. Yeah, they did that throughout all the first 6 albums they did with Roth. So why are you complaining about it now? You're just finding something to complain about because you can't accept any new music from your idols. Just admit it.
That's what it is, huh? People don't like that. They don't like change. They don't like something
Yeah.
new.
No,
They don't like.
They don't want to. They don't want to admit that. I mean, a different kind of truth is another one. I mean, I get that tattoo is a little polarizing, but the rest of it, it's like if you can't listen to "She's the Woman" and be totally stoked about the energy and the chemistry and the fucking playing on that track, you're just finding fault with something for the sake of doing it. I don't know how else to put it, but that just doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't really mind tattoo. I like.
I'm acknowledging that
Yeah.
people are going to be. It's going to be polarizing. Yeah. Me, I thought it was brilliant, incredible lyrics.
I think David Lee Roth first vocal, first line on the album is "I got Elvis on my elbow."
Mm-hmm.
that's
when I flex, Elvis talks, isn't that what he says?
Is that what it is? Talks?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so. But that just leading with that single and having that song on that album with those lyrics, that is David Lee Roth's influence, and that's the other volatility. Those guys came to hate each other, but the music that came out of that animosity and resentment was fucking incredible.
Yeah. All right, we got 30 seconds left. Let's roll it out here. There you have it.
Yeah.
Track
some good
11.
shit, man.
Such strange placement, but there it is. Slither from 2004.
And it's, I can't remember where it was, but they played some huge shows too.
Festival shows.
Yeah. I mean, some of the videos that you find on YouTube of their live performances, there's some in like smaller clubs, but they played enormous shows.
Did they do like all those download, like all those European, and
like
Big Day Out,
Vakken,
Australia
probably.
and stuff? Yeah, okay.
I don't know specifically, but yeah, you see some of the clips, and it's like, how are you approaching the microphone and looking at that sea of people?
You probably wouldn't even care though, right? Like,
well, I remember he had a quote, and I can only paraphrase it, but it was along the lines of being his job throughout all those years is basically to get himself hyped up and pretend or try to convince himself that he's going to be able to entertain all those people.
Yeah, that has to be hard.
That's gotta be,
especially if that thought enters your mind. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if I could do
if
this.
You're as self-aware as he really seemed to be.
If you're like, my shit is awesome, this will be easy, these people are lucky, then it's different. You probably have no nerves. That's how I felt back when I was a performer. Felt nothing.
I felt nothing.
I mean, I didn't think about anyone other than myself the whole time.
Well, you kind of have to in that position.
Like, this is going to be so fun. I'm going to do all this cool stuff.
We're talking about
roll around on the floor.
We're talking about David Lee Roth just a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the vibe he definitely was putting off. I'm having a great time. I don't know about you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Definitely he was more of a ringleader type guy. But,
but I mean, a lot of the guys that emerged in the '90s, they had that insecurity. At least that was what they portrayed.
Yeah.
And most likely, it was true.
I'm sure it was.
Huge insecurity among that sort of that time frame. And unfortunately, most of those guys who were the huge guys you think of from that era are all gone.
And then the post era, you throw Chester Bennington in there. The guy, they were the biggest band in the world for a while. And he was another one who was just like did seem comfortable with it, but when you watch him on stage, it's like this guy was born to do this.
Yeah, sadly, a perfect fit for that Stone Temple Pilots stint that he did.
Yeah, that EP is great. That was a great, brilliant fit. It was along the lines. This is maybe a bit of a stretch, this comparison, but it was on par to me with Queen bringing Adam Lambert in. It's like established band bring in the younger superstar, and it ends up working.
Yeah, that makes sense.
One more bite of peanut butter pie.
How is it?
Very good. Thank you.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly. Yes. Thank you. Nick, you picked this song off the list.
I did.
Via 3 of our buddies who submitted it. Sweet Surrender or Kick in the Crotch. It's time for you to vote.
A very sweet surrender. Jelly all over. Sweet surrender. Hell yes. Pouring jelly on top of this one. Yeah, it's great. I remember being pretty excited about this. This was around 04. I was unapologetically just back into classic rock at that point. Before that, there was my late teens, late 90s, I would say. I had kind of an attitude of like, yeah, I liked the rock star sort of music, but didn't really care for the whole like, oh, I'm a rock star thing. You know, you kind of get into like the stripped down punkish sort of version of the. But then you realize it's the same thing anyway.
Well,
that's a whole other story. But
everyone's putting on a skin.
It's really not much. It's no different. But
pretty much, I say everyone, not everyone, but pretty much
not
everyone.
But I'm gonna generalize. And say everyone.
You know, at that time, probably about a year around this time, maybe a year before, I remember our band played with some other band, and I remember the singer of the band wore a leather jacket on the stage, and we couldn't stop laughing. We're like, what a fucking idiot.
Well,
because
that's the attitude, yeah.
Because it was just like the wrong, like if you were in an arena, by all means, but it was like the dude was trying to portray, he was dressing for the job he wanted, not the job he had. Which is fine, but I'm just saying at the time...
Which I appreciate more as time goes on.
Me too, but at the time it seemed like, what a horse's ass. This guy's a fool. Even, we were complete fools.
Well, plus when you're in a band, you and your bandmates can be petty together.
Oh, yeah.
That's all part of the camaraderie.
Judgmental, petty.
Being very petty all together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we in the Mean Reds were more along those lines. Dress for the job you want versus the one you have, and it would never be fucking shorts on stage. Well, actually I correct that. My bandmates did wear shorts on stage. We played an outdoor gig, market days, and it was broiling hot, like black AstroTurf stage. I did not wear shorts. I would never take the stage wearing shorts, and pretty sure I was hallucinating halfway through the set. But in general, we were like, we want to present ourselves as, standing out from the crowd here. So, I mean, I unless it was completely ridiculous, I personally wouldn't have laughed at somebody doing that. I would tip my cap to that person.
Yeah. It was just...
But you guys were just pricks. In general,
yes,
so,
that's what it was. But kind of what Nick was saying, how like there was a period where we were like, oh, that's so dumb. Well, it's so corny and played out was kind of the vibe. At that time, you know what I mean? You have to take that into consideration.
You wanted to subvert the norm, I guess, at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, about Velvet Revolver, I just wanted to say one thing that just popped into my head. They're two great tastes that taste great together. They're the Reese's cups of hard rock music.
You're right.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
The Reese's cups, if you will, and some of you won't, I'm sure.
All right, Chris.
Oh yeah, absolute Sweet Surrender.
It's Sweet Surrender. Hell yes.
I didn't really keep up much with Slash's stuff, like the Snake Pit stuff and post Guns N' Roses things, and STP was a band that I liked, but I never owned any of their albums, so I never really took a deep dive into their stuff, but I knew Weiland was a rock star, and I appreciated what they were doing, and that sort of thing. So when this band came together, obviously I got the album, if not the day it came out, pretty quickly after it came out, and I just immediately struck a chord with me. If you're a true rock fan and a fan of Guns N' Roses and or STP or any band of those ilks, I don't understand how you couldn't like this or love it like I did and still do.
Yeah. Oh, it's my turn. Sweet Surrender.
It's Sweet Surrender. Hell yes.
Ah, man. So I don't remember a lot of Velvet Revolver, and in fact, I don't even know if I've ever heard the second album at all. Maybe in passing around Nick.
You should delve into it, man. It's good shit.
I remember not caring for Fall to Pieces.
I could see that not being your style of song. I mean, it's probably, I would say, their biggest hit.
It's a great song in the Sweet Child of Mine realm.
Yeah,
and I could see that being a thing where,
but Andy's
here we go.
a cold-hearted individual.
Well, and if
I might like it now, but I just remember at the time being like, I don't care for this, but I liked this song the instant I heard it, and any time after that. So, Sweet Surrender for me, I probably owe Velvet Revolver a full listen instead of just acknowledging one song.
I think you would like Libertad. It's like I said, it's got much more of an STP vibe sonically to me. And actually, my favorite Velvet Revolver song is the lead single from that album, She Builds Quick Machines.
I remember the name.
Song.
Yeah, and that video is great too.
That's a fucking balls out rocker, one of my all-time favorites. That's another one where I listen to everything on shuffle. That's some songs come up and I'm like, I'm not really in the mood for this, or I've another Zeppelin song. I don't want to really listen to that right now. I two songs that I don't think I've ever skipped in my life that have come up on shuffle or in my life of listening to digital streaming. She Builds Quick Machines and Plastercaster never get skipped.
Yeah.
Plastercaster, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Quick Machines is one of the coolest choruses that I could think of.
Oh, the whole song.
Well, the whole song, but
rips,
once you get to that chorus and you kind of, it takes a second to realize the rhythmically kind of what they're doing guitar wise and how it all works in. It's like, oh wow.
And at the beginning, like, they got that lo-fi, like AM radio sound of the production, then it flows into the full sound and just explodes at you. It's fucking amazing.
Is it kind of
people
like
still shit on it?
Is it kind of like the song AM Radio by Everclear? Is that what we're talking here?
Go to the next round. I'm not listening to you at this point.
Valid question.
That's the kind.
I got a question for you.
That's the kind of mindset that brings somebody to laugh at a guy who's trying to portray himself as a rock star during a rock gig. It's that dick mentality. There it is, bubbling to the surface.
Yeah, I thought it was gone.
Sensing an opportunity to get my goat with a fucking Everclear reference.
Well, it was just the exact. Not saying it was done as well, but the exact formula of that song, the AM radio intro into.
Wow.
Yes.
No.
Yep. Okay. Paul Stanley wants to know if Slither is a rock and roll boner classic. It was voted by the 3 rock and roll boners in this room.
My vote's in.
My vote's in.
Mine as well.
Okay. Who wants to go first? Nick, Chris, Andy?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Let's see here. Where's that cowbell?
Nope.
Where is it?
Lost. There it is.
Rock.
Roll.
Boner.
It's a rock and roll boner. Are you kidding me? Who do you think you are? I am. Get it right.
Now, PDW strikes me as a guy who would bust out a bullhorn every now and then.
I'm surprised he hasn't.
He wouldn't need it, but
Yeah.
He wouldn't need it, but it would add even more potency to his, as Andy so brilliantly put it back in the day, his homeless person style rants. He's yelling like a homeless person throughout that whole explosion.
Yeah.
That's
great pull. For it's always been in the back of my mind. When are we gonna get some Velvet Revolver? Because I need to set the record straight on them. And anybody out there who thinks it's subpar because it's not up to standard with the previous bands these guys would be in, you're simply wrong. That's as simple, as straightforward as I can put it. You're just fucking wrong.
There you go. If you disagree with us, we're sorry.
That's just the fucking way it is.
Oh. So last week we skipped a segment due to time
we
constraints.
skipped 2 segments. I think, right?
Well, we didn't do Pope stuff. Is that one you were talking about?
No, I think we skipped the 10-year thing.
Right.
Oh, shit. That's still going on.
And people
And
are...
again, here this is Andy bristling at sound clips that are blowing smoke up our butts. This guy, he's an enemy of success.
Andy's got that punk rock aesthetic.
Yeah.
Can't
and this other thing, rhythmic slap.
That's what I
believe.
That's what I was getting to.
People are dying to know.
But I still can't make heads or tails out of it. So are we going to do that now? Or
I think it's time.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, last week we skipped rhythmic slapping. This week comes back with our, let's go to our clue, our third clue, and then we will reveal the answer shortly. Here we go. Really familiar. And the prize, I understand the prize is a new car if you get it right. So contact Nick.
Someone did guess it correctly. I guess we're sending him a new car.
Oh wait,
no, really?
Someone did on the
based on your criteria.
On a couple weeks ago, someone I apologize for not remembering who it was. I'd have to go back and look at the episode.
Okay, well, never mind this new car.
Facebook. Yeah, well, Andy's sending you a car. Well, he said it.
So people are
man of his word.
People are picking up on the twisted angle of this game.
Yeah,
because it's completely lost on me.
So far, 2 correct guesses.
Wow. So, should I say the one that I sent you earlier, or no?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I got a guess from a listener, David Brown. He says From out of town. I know he's cool because I met him in jail, Jack. Or baby. Was it baby or Jack? Or daddy?
It works either way.
Okay. He says, hooked on a feeling. That's his guess here. So
it's a great guess.
Let's find out. Did a third thing happen there? I don't know what's going on. Well, I
don't know what's going on. It's completely over my head.
That one was a little bit out there, I will say.
Sorry, David.
I actually thought it was Run to the Hills.
Oh, okay.
That now I'm even more confused than I was originally.
We're going back to sort of the same sort of thing as the first week with our next one for
all right.
Number 4 here.
Here it is.
Okay, here we go. Number 4. This is for next week. Get your guesses in. Nick will mail you something very valuable. If you correct a car, he'll mail you a car. Sounds familiar. Sounds like a real drum kit.
Should be familiar. You play it again if you'd like.
Yeah, once more,
People
please.
might be like, what is it?
You know, I like when you hear a drum set that sounds like a drum set.
That definitely does.
You like the traps vibrating.
Yeah.
All right.
It's going to be hard to
Send in your guesses.
figure that one out.
They'll all be wrong.
Nick,
Well, maybe not. Maybe not.
who guessed the correct one?
I can't remember.
Can't remember.
I
Okay.
Forgive me for it was a couple
See,
weeks
when
ago.
it comes time to hand out prizes, Nick's like, I can't remember who that was.
I get amnesia.
Yeah.
I would mail it to you, but I just can't
Yeah, I
remember.
don't know. I don't remember. So there's no prizes here. Essentially a push.
It's the best time to get amnesia.
Yeah.
It's like
It's time to fork it out.
one of those things where someone wins a half-court shot, and then they figure out a way to disqualify them
Yeah,
from paying them.
exactly. Yeah.
Your wife knows someone.
Yeah.
Your
who works
shoelace
for us.
was untied, and for legal reasons, we can't allow that. So
Yeah.
you lost.
well.
It's always something. Well, there you go. We'll see what next week holds for us. And what's this one? Oh, come on, Andrew, get it together. 10th anniversary. Ooh, from Jackie Hardigan.
Oh boy.
Pod strikes 10, it must be Monday night. A decade of stupidity, but that's alright. Listen to Pound of Thunder tonight. Leave us a voice message tonight.
Hey there, this is Jackie Hardigan here to wish you guys a happy 10 years of Pot of Thunder. It took me a little bit to build up the courage to record this because I had some anxiety over not having a really cool accent like a lot of your listeners, so I apologize for that, but I'm over it. Anyway, I know a lot of folks were sharing when they first started listening to Pot of Thunder. I can't exactly pinpoint when I started listening, but I can tell you it was sometime spring or summer of 2018. You guys were still on the KISS catalog, but it was towards the end. And I had just returned to work after being on maternity leave. And I like to listen to music when I'm working, especially in the mornings when my job function is very monotonous and, I don't necessarily need to be locked in on something very involved. So, I was in a rut though. I didn't want to listen to the same bands that I had been listening to, the same albums over and over again. I was just tired of everything. So a lot of my coworkers were getting into podcasts and, I didn't really want to listen to any true crime podcasts at the time. And I randomly remembered from like Facebook or something that those guys from the Flying Errands had a podcast. I think it was about KISS or something. So I just decided to take a chance and listen to an episode. I probably picked something random, like Lick It Up or, a big hit just, to get into it. But, of course, I liked it. I loved it, actually. And I have been listening ever since. So I want to thank you guys for so many years of great entertainment. You also have turned me into from a casual KISS fan into a pretty big KISS fan because, I don't know that I would have discovered the Creatures of the Night album without you guys, so I appreciate that. Maybe Gene Simmons can write you guys a check for that.
Yeah,
but
he owes us a nickel.
Anyway, I don't know how many years you guys plan on continuing this, but count on me to listen until the very end.
Wow.
Thanks again, guys, and congratulations.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank
And
you.
crystal clear sound because she's just probably a few blocks away here, living here in Munster, Indiana, the epicenter of Pot of Thunder. But I mean, to have a female listener be into it that much is pretty impressive, and we've actually got a fair amount, which is more than zero, I would say, is a good amount compared to some other podcasts like ours. But they seem to enjoy it, and they get involved in the discussion threads, and it's definitely appreciated. So thank you, Jackie.
Jackie lives so close that once, maybe more than once, at least once, Nick stopped at her house on the way and dropped off a baked treat so she could enjoy it live with us. That's how close she is. And actually, I have a clip.
Oh no!
I hope she enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, Nick
She never said.
Nick stopped by her house and asked if she was hungry, and she said,
Fuck you, Nick.
Jeez.
"So,
Wow.
so I don't." I guess
Wow.
I guess she didn't like it.
Oh, no, Jackie.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't win them all.
No. But it was the effort that was there. Yep.
No, but that's great to hear that, and appreciate you sending that in, despite your aversion to sometimes Nick coming by. It's a bad time, I guess. But how are we doing? How many of those do we have left? We have a fair amount, do you think?
I don't think we do have too many more. I would say single digits. So if you want to send one and you haven't yet, you can talk right into your phone, get it right. You don't have to leave a message where maybe you left something out or stammered like I am now. You can, say what you want to say, get it right, and then email it over to potofthunder@yahoo.com, and we will play it.
We'd like to have these clips last out through the rest of the 10th anniversary year, so another 4 months. So get on board with it.
Yeah, I'd really hate to have to record one myself. So.
Yeah, we're gonna go out and solicit.
Have Peter Lorre send in a congratulatory clip.
Nick's gonna be doing voices.
I'm just saying, Halloween's coming. If I have to,
if he has to do it, he will do it. So, all right, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back with everybody's favorite segment,
the best
questions.
Yards of questions. Motherfucker, I give them!
Sing away.
Yes, Chief.
I found the individual who's gonna get a car from Andy.
Oh.
Clay Frink was the one who said, "Run to the hills."
Well, come on down, Clay.
You're the big winner.
You're the big winner today. We don't have a car for you. I'm sorry. That was for next week. We have the car.
Next week,
the car.
If someone gets it for next week, they might deserve a car.
Okay.
We'll see.
This week's Yardo Questions comes to us from Rob Needham. What's up, Rob? Oh, had to burp. Okay, how about some travel-related questions?
I don't think we've had many of those, so that sounds interesting.
Yeah. Question 1. Road trip or plane trip?
I prefer road trip usually.
Yeah, there's just so much logistical hassles dealing with airports these days, especially post-COVID. I mean, it got really bad. It got bad after 9/11, but then it sort of evened out, but then it went batshit crazy again after COVID. And plus, all the airfares have been jacked up. To recover all their losses from the COVID period. So.
Even though they got bailed out for everything.
Yeah.
And then still, yeah.
Yeah, they don't care nobody cares about that. They just want as much money as possible. And then
balls of shit.
Then people who weren't able to travel for a good year and a half or 2 years, they'll pay anything to travel now just because they just want to do it. But and I prefer road trip too. I mean, I don't know. I just enjoy driving in general on the highway, and as long as you got a good stereo and Bluetooth hookup in a good vehicle, what's not to like?
It's road trip is the American experience, really.
Yeah,
that's what we can do over here. You get in the car and you've got a huge landscape. You can just go wherever you want, basically.
Well, and as they call them, the flyover states, which is mostly the middle of the country, where you just, you're flying from one hub to the other and just go over them. There's just so much to see in this country, and yeah, I'm with you on that road trip. In fact, one of my bucket list things is to someday do like a 2-year RV tour.
Wow.
To like every national park or something like that. Just
cool.
Straight 2 years where you're just living out of an RV. I would still like to do that one day.
2 years.
Yeah.
Is that how long it takes to do?
That's just an arbitrary number, but I'm just basically what I'm getting at is it wouldn't be like a 1 week shot. It would be like a one continuous
big loop. Everything.
Just a continuous trip with no time constraints or anything, and just however long it takes, it takes.
Yeah.
You know?
There you go. Question 2. Do you prefer snow, sand, or other?
Well, of the two, for vacation or traveling, or
I guess like maybe are you going skiing or are you going to the beach?
I'm not going skiing. I'm a resort guy, and that's the other thing is there's a lot of discussion and with my wife and in the family about like going to Europe. I've never been to Europe.
Yeah.
And I have no interest in doing that because you go to Europe, you kind of have to see stuff and do stuff. And when I go on vacation, I just want to fucking lay on my ass and relax. So like a resort in Mexico or the Caribbean, that's my ideal like exotic vacation. But yeah, I mean, I would, of those two, I would say sand. I can't really think of other. So definitely not snow. Snow I'm not a fan of. I can deal with the cold weather. In fact, I prefer colder temperatures, especially with this last string of weather. I don't know how anybody lives in the Southwest or down in Louisiana or any of that shit. I could not do that. But when there's all this snow that you have to clear out of your driveway and it affects your ability to move around in your vehicle, I'm not a fan of that at all. And I've never been skiing in my life, even though I grew up in a suburb where a lot of kids were into it. Just never been.
Well, scoot to the middle cushion and we could do that now.
Oh, boy.
Terrible. 20 years ago, Andy came back. Nick, how about you? You've never gone skiing, have you? Or snowboarding or anything?
No, I have not.
No?
But I would say I'm just about as polar opposite on this question as to Chris's answer as is possible. Not a resort guy. I don't think I could just sit there. And to sort of illustrate that, when I got married, it was we went on our honeymoon in December. We went north instead of south. So
that's right. That was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't go, but the pictures.
The pictures,
and
it's like
stories.
you were there.
It was. So vibrant.
Where did you go on your honeymoon?
Quebec City.
Oh, okay.
Montreal, Quebec City. Yeah, I mean, it was like snowing like crazy a couple of the days we were there. And we loved it. We just kind of were like, hey, we're in Quebec City. Let's go see what there is to see and do and eat and whatever. And the one story that we still bring up from time to time is when we were on our honeymoon and we were staying at a little hotel, nice little hotel. The guy at the front desk, when we were coming back in for the day, he was like, hey, I'm almost done with my shift. We have no other guests here. You're going to be the only two people in the entire hotel.
That's weird.
Yeah.
So if it starts on fire...
So that was kind of wild knowing that we were the only two people in the hotel.
Not even a worker.
The entire night. No, that was it.
What kind of hotel was this?
It was a nice little hotel. I can't remember the name of it, but
not a maid or someone? No.
The guy's like, I'm leaving.
It's odd.
That's it.
That's interesting. How big was the hotel?
It was I don't know how many rooms it had. It was connected to like a city block sort of. So it wasn't like its own huge.
Yeah, you couldn't really tell.
Radisson or something, but it was just like a small independent place. But it's still very strange, yeah, that everybody left.
Was it called the Quebecois Cove by any chance?
That's good.
I can't think of it. It was in French, of course, but I can't think of the name of it offhand. Nice place. Good crepes.
I mean, knowing that, you could have played a pretty good game of California baseball in that facility.
Room to room.
Yeah. Floor to floor, everywhere. But, of course, we hadn't coined the term, so why would you think of it? But, yeah.
Question 3. Wait, so did you actually pick a preference, or you just said what you did?
I
you would go.
I mean, I enjoy going to the beach or somewhere warm once in a while, but that's not really something for a long period of time that I think I could really do.
So you would probably say other than.
I guess
regular grass.
Yeah.
Or crunchy leaves on the ground, I guess.
Nice.
A little cooler, like a hoodie weather like that. That's more my element there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that.
Me too.
I'm with you on that just for my regular lifestyle, but yeah, something about a tropical vacation and hanging out on a resort and just enjoying the luxury of it that appeals to me at this stage of my life.
Question 3. If you could have the power of teleportation right now, where would you go and why? Thank you, Rob, for your Yardo questions. I appreciate these unique questions.
Thank you, Rob. That would actually be my superpower of choice.
Teleportation?
Yeah, because it's a question when you have kids. That's a question that comes up.
Yeah.
And
the kids ask you that?
Yeah, and that's my go-to answer. Being able to teleport.
Oh, okay.
That would be my superpower. But where would I go?
Yeah. And I guess, he said right now. I don't know if that necessarily means tonight, or does that just mean like when you get your affairs in order on the weekend or something?
I've got an answer for that.
Mm-hmm.
There is a place that I was able to find a couple years ago in Egypt. And Andy probably knows where I am.
I do.
I've never been to Egypt, but there was a place I was able to track down on the internet where we have an ancestor who had passed away many years ago, and there were stories about what happened to him and where is he and all that stuff. And I found the military cemetery in Egypt and contacted someone there, and they actually took a photo of the grave and sent it. So we had that, and in the records it had the wrong first initial, and I'm like, I think it might be an H instead of an N, and they're like, oh, okay, I'll go look. And so they updated the record. It just, I don't know, just...
Who is this person who's buried there?
It's a relative of ours who passed away in the 40s.
Oh, okay.
And it's just like someone that our whole lives we'd heard about, and we didn't really know like the story for sure, and we still kind of don't. But I'd say we're the first ones in our family to actually have seen what his grave actually looks like.
Yeah.
So that would be, for that kind of, it wouldn't be leisure, but for that reason, if it was like I could go anywhere and just kind of see something,
yeah,
I would be. I mean, it's very plain looking landscape over there, just sand everywhere, palm trees and sand. But that's where I would go if I could go anywhere.
So how you said it was misspelled on the headstone?
The headstone. So they had some sort of online records, and that's what I found. But it had the wrong first initial, and I'm like,
the headstone was correct.
I'm like, all the other initials or all the other information lines up, but not the first initial. And I was like, well, N and H are pretty close. So I was like, yeah, this might be it. And then they checked it and sent me a picture and like, oh yeah, we'll update our online records. We had it wrong. So
N and H. I mean, I was like, how do you misspell Tut Jones?
Tutankhamun Jones.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It seems pretty simple, but yeah, you can never never bargain for these clerical errors that occur. So, my turn.
Your turn.
Okay, so just today on Facebook, a college friend of mine was putting something out there where she's been to every state in the United States except for 3, and one of them was she hasn't been to either of the Dakotas or Nebraska, and she was asking where in any of those states she should definitely go. And my choice would be what I recommended for her to go, which would be the Badlands, South Dakota, that national park. When we were doing a string of out-of-town dates and we had a full-size bus in the Mean Reds, it broke down in Badlands, South Dakota, and we had quite an adventure there. I won't get into all the details, but somebody else recommended that to her and described the landscape as surreal, and I would totally agree with that. And I'd like to go back and just re-experience that. It's some of the most, if not the most, striking visuals outside of the Grand Canyon that I've ever seen in my life. Just stunning. And then when I saw the real stuff to see in Badlands National Park was in the middle of the night under a full moon, and the way that was lit up naturally just literally took my breath away. So I would go back there in a heartbeat, discover that. So
cool. All right, well, thank you, Rob, for your Yardo questions. If you want to submit a Yardo questions, go to potofthunder.com, click that widget, send over 3 questions, make it happen. Read them on the show. Nick will send you a car. It's going to be great.
Got to part with one of my cars that have been allotted to me to give away as prizes.
One of your giveaway cars, yeah.
I was hoping nobody would say anything.
Yep. Well, for the last week of Pot of Thunder month, we say goodbye, but next week it will be...
We say hello.
The first week of September.
Yeah, and so I'll close with this. So I never say anything that I don't truly believe. Like, for example, I would never, like, if I knew there was a Velvet Revolver song coming on, I would not take the stance that Velvet Revolver sucks just to, like, be that...
you don't play devil's advocate.
Exactly, or I don't, like you watch a like a sports discussion show, and you know that half those guys in the pre-production meeting are told, okay, you're going to have this point of view, you're going to have this point of view, and we're going to get the debate going. Okay, if I don't believe it, I don't say it. But if I believe something and I can sense that there's a opportunity for hyperbole or to really exaggerate it, I will definitely do that. So I'm going to do that again in preparation for next week. I have never, not even close, been as excited about a song choice as what I'm going to unleash on everybody next week.
I cannot wait.
I've never believed in something more in my entire life. Not my marriage. Not, I don't know, go down the list of, like, legitimately important things. I couldn't be more.
Wow.
My belief has never been stronger than it is in the next week's song choice.
Wow. All right.
That's a lot to live up to for the rest of us.
It's going to be a challenge, but I'm telling you, I'm confident it's going to be one of the best discussions in the history of the show.
Okay.
All right.
I look forward to it.
Well, until then, bye-bye.